Hello students, I am Sachin Prakash and I teach and mentor students in chemistry for IIT I believe that the real confidence which is required to crack this IIT exam will come only when you are confident in tackling good problems. And that clarity and understanding of concepts will only develop when you are really comfortable in handling these problems. So this video contains the paper discussion which I have conducted in my uh, classes online. Okay, and a lot of good doubts are there which I have discussed here. It will be helping you people in understanding, developing an understanding in how to approach and tackle good problems. Okay, and if you like this, if you found this paper discussion video to be useful and interesting, you can, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, which will surely, motivate me to add some more useful videos of this type. Okay, because ultimately it's, this is just an effort, honest effort, small honest effort from my side to help the student, uh, help my students as well as other students also in their ITJ preparation. So let us begin with this paper discussion. Okay.
So today we are going to discuss AFT 9 paper 1. Okay. So question number 19 and 20. 19 is a doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see 19 you are having what you call as standard Calomel electrode. Okay. Which is basically something like Cl minus Hg2 Cl2 Hgpt. Okay, it's a metal insoluble salt electrode. Okay, and it is used as a standard electrode because it's what you say as potential doesn't change that much. Okay, so for this they have given the E naught reduction value. E naught is given to be how much? 0.285. Okay, saturated. So we are using saturated calomel electrode here, and so this is my anode here. If you are using it as anode, then this we have to use the oxidation potential. This is given to be the reduction potential. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? Okay, so I can write E cell as E naught of E oxidation anode plus E reduction cathode. Okay, so this is the anode part and this is the cathode part. Okay, now E cell is given to be minus 0.625 E. If you are writing the oxidation potential for standard calomel electrode, it will be minus of this value, so it will be minus of 0.285. Okay, and this will be the whole the standard reduction, the reduction potential of this whole thing, which is basically Cn minus AgCN2 Ag. Okay, so this is a complex electrode. Okay, because it is containing a metal complex. Okay, now you see ECN minus AgCN2 Ag we can calculate it will be minus 0.34 volts. Are you getting up to this point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you see AgCN2 minus the reaction for AgCN2 minus going to Ag will be something like this. That AgCN2 minus is basically containing Ag plus 1. And it is taking Ag and it is giving to Ag plus 2Cn1 minus. It is taking an electron here. Now this reaction is equivalent to this reaction, Ag plus electron giving Ag. Okay, I have taught you people about equivalent reactions. Do you remember? AgCl plus electron giving Ag plus Cl minus will also be an equivalent reaction. Because you see, overall, it is the Ag in +1 state which is going to Ag in metallic state. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? Any
Yes, sir.
response? Okay, yeah. So you see, if these two are equivalent reactions, okay, then you see, I can write this electrode in terms of, you know, we can say that, okay, I have not written it here, that E, okay, I have to write it somewhere. I'm just writing it here. If these two electrodes are equivalent, then I can write E of Cn minus AgCN2 minus Ag. That will be equal to E Ag plus Ag. Okay, these two here, Ag plus will be given by this expression. Okay, Ag plus will be given by this whole expression. Okay, so Ag plus will be determined by the dynamics of complex. Okay, so you see Ag plus 2Cn minus gives AgCN2 minus. So this is the formation reaction for Kf, for AgCN, the complex. Now you see Kf can be written as AgCN2 minus by concentration of Ag plus into concentration of Cn minus square. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so from here I can find out the concentration of Ag plus. Now you see this will be the equivalent concentration of Ag plus if I'm expressing this E cell in terms of this, you know, cell half potential in terms of this cell half potential. Are you getting my point? If I'm representing this by this, then Ag plus, the equivalent Ag plus concentration will be something like this. Okay? Yes or no? Are you getting this point? Something safe.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, one of you should be, you know, responding first if it is yes or no. Okay, so you see, this Ag plus concentration we need to find out. Okay, now this Ag plus is will be used in this. This is equal to 0.34 with a negative sign. Okay, so I can write E cell is equal to E naught Ag plus 2 Ag minus 0.06 by 1 log of 1 by Ag plus. For this reaction, I can write this half cell, Nast equation. Okay, and here the value of Ag plus will be this one. Okay, so if I put the value of Ag plus here, I can write minus 0.34 is equal to 0.8, which is Ag not Ag plus slash Ag, minus 0.06 log of this whole value. So this whole value, if you shift point it this side and do the mathematics, we'll get Kf by 12 to be 10 power 19, and Kf is equal to 12 into 10 power 19, which is 1.2 into 10 power 20. Are you getting this point? We have discussed the concept of equivalent cell when I was discussing like metal insoluble salt electrode. Okay, so we are using the same thing here. Are you getting a point, everyone? See, if you are
Sir,
using,
over there,
yes,
in that green box, you wrote that E of Cn minus and that one is equal to E of Ag plus Ag. That one.
yeah,
Over there, Cn
yeah.
minus is going to AgCN2 whole minus, no?
No, you see, the basic reaction is something like this. You see, the electron is taken by Ag plus only. Okay, so see, suppose I was having this reaction and I put Cn minus here, then I will be getting AgCN2 minus here. Okay, so the reaction, see, the basic species which is getting reduced here is still Ag plus only, but the form has changed. Are you getting my point? So since the same species is getting what you say as, reduced, So the E cell will be same. Are you getting my point? Here also Ag plus is getting reduced, and here also Ag plus only is getting reduced. Nothing has happened to Cn minus. Are you getting my point? There is no change
Then
in the. Huh?
why did you give like that, sir? Cn minus.
See, what happens sometimes, no? That suppose you are having, you know, if you want to get very minute concentration of Ag plus, you cannot directly add. Suppose you want an Ag plus concentration of 10 to the power minus 8. Now you cannot make this solution by, you know, what you say, putting 10 to the power minus 8 moles of Ag plus AgNO3 in water. Are you getting my point? It is pretty difficult to do that because such small measurements won't be possible. So what we do is that instead of that, what we do is that we can use AgCl. Okay, it is just a like-to-like example. AgCl, Ksp is what? Concentration of Ag plus into concentration of Cl minus. Okay, so if I would use a metal insoluble salt electrode, okay, if I'm using an insoluble salt, then concentration of Ag plus can be controlled by controlling the concentration of Cl minus. Are you getting my point? So suppose this
Yes.
Ksp value is like 10 to the power minus 10. Then I can get this Ag plus concentration to be 10 to the power minus 8 if I am using 0.01 molar Cl minus. Are you getting my point? So it is like an indirect way of controlling the concentration of Cn minus, or concentration of Ag plus. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the same thing we are using here. In all equivalent cell, you know, half cell reactions, the atom or the ion which is getting oxidized is actually same. The form has changed. Right now it is in a free form, this is in a complex form. But still Ag plus is only getting reduced to Ag. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Did you get it? If you have a doubt, you can ask. Are you getting this? Yes, no, something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 19, 20. 20 is a doubt. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't take any, you know, what is a risk. I knew that this would be a. I see alpha is 0.2 here. Okay, this means dissociation is pretty high. Okay, so we can't use a weak acid approximation here. Are you getting my point? This is the first one. Okay. Now we don't know the concentration of the acid, but I have been given that this acid is neutralized by NaOH solution which is of 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 molar and 10 milliliter. So you see moles of milliequivalents of OH minus should be equal to milliequivalents of HA, and both are having n factor equal to 1. So millimoles will be equal also. Are you getting a point? 1 millimole of OH minus will neutralize 1 mole of HA. Are you getting my point here?
Yes.
Now you see, what are the millimoles of OH minus? It will be molarity 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 into volume, which is 10. So it will be giving you 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 molar. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so you see 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 10 will be the millimoles of OH minus, and that should be equal to millimoles of HA. Now let us say that the HA molarity is X and volume is given to be 10 ml. So So what is the millimoles of HA? It will be 10x. So 10x is equal to this value. So x will be 0.002 molar. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you are getting this, then the whole thing is done. Okay. You see, K I can write as C1 alpha square by 1 minus alpha. I think everyone knows how to do this. 1 minute. You have HA going to H plus A minus. Okay. So initially it is C1, 0, 0, and equilibrium C1 into 1 minus alpha, C1 alpha, C1 alpha. So K will be C1 alpha square by 1 minus alpha. Are you remembering this one?
Yes, sir.
Now I need to find out K. I know C1 and I know alpha. So if I am doing that, the 0.002 into 0.2 square, okay, alpha is 0.2 by 1 minus 0.2. So if you do this, K will be 10 power minus 4. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
If that is done, pK value is 4. So what is the pH concentration of H plus? It will be C1 into alpha. So C1 into alpha will be 2 into 10 power minus 3 into 0.2. It will be 4 into 10 power minus 4. So pH will be 3.4. Up to this, are you getting it?
Yes.
Now, if you are getting up to this, you see here we are having 0.02 millimoles of OH minus and 0.02 millimoles of HA. So when the neutralization is taking place, complete neutralization will take place. So you will be so none of HA or OH minus will be remaining. You will be having 0.02 millimoles of A minus. This is clear?
Yes, sir.
And the total volume will be 10 plus 10 because you are using 10 ml of HA and 10 ml of OH minus. So total volume is 20 ml. Okay. What is the concentration of A minus? It will be 0.02 millimoles by volume is 20. It will be 10 power minus 3 molar. Getting it?
Yes.
Okay. So you see, now you have found concentration of C and you know that only A minus is remaining in the solution. Okay. So it will undergo hydrolysis because it is coming from a weak acid. So if HA is a weak acid, A minus will undergo anionic hydrolysis. And if it is undergoing anionic hydrolysis, then pH is given by 7 plus half pKa plus log C. pK is 4 and log C will be 3, so it will be 7.5. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And the KH will be Kw by K for anionic hydrolysis. For cationic, it will be KH by Kw by Kb. For anionic plus cationic, it will be Kw by K into Kb. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So it will be 10 power minus K. So you see the option D is not correct. All the other three are correct. It's a lengthy question, actually. It looked lengthy, actually. Getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's very good. 21 is also a doubt. Yes. Is it a doubt? Shall I explain? Someone has to say yes or no. Did you attempt this question? 21.
Sir, explain.
Explain. Okay. Now you see, you have a epoxide as well as a chloride ion. Okay. Now epoxide will be more reactive than attacking epoxide will be more imminent compared to attack at Cl minus. Why? Because epoxide is highly stressed. So C2H5 minus, even though it is having both options, it will first attack this part. Okay. So if it is attacking here, you see it will attack the less hindered carbon of the epoxide. This is more hindered, this is less hindered. Are you getting my point? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you have C2H5 minus, which is the attacking nucleophile. So, and you see, it will be attacking from the downside because this oxygen is up the plane. I am shown it by solid wedge. Okay. So you see here C2H5 is shown by dash wedge because it is down the plane. And oxygen has gone up. Okay, now it is free oxygen O minus. But you see O minus can attack this Cl minus because it is anti to Cl minus. So it can do a backside attack. So it will be like an intramolecular SN2 reaction. Something like a neighboring group participation. Are you remembering that concept? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, if O minus is attacking from up, you will again get an up epoxide here. Okay. And CH3 remains down only. Okay, because it is inside the plane. Now you have excess of C2H5O minus. So again C2H5 minus will attack the less hindered carbon of the epoxide, which is this one. Okay. So in this case, what will happen is that this will again open up. So you see this C2H5 will also be down. And see after that, if you are adding H2O, you will be getting OH here. Are you getting this point up to this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you see, we need to see the relative positions of the C2H5 group. You see C2H5, CH3 and CH3 all are down, down, down. Okay, in terms of up the plane and down the plane. So this helps in deciding the diastereomers. So you see this is our X. Now you see they are asking in the question, find the organic product X and Y. So you see X is this. So you see here all the three ET, CSC and ET are down, down, down. So even though they have changed the orientation, it is still the same molecule. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see this is X. Okay. Or you see down, down, down and up, up, up will be the same. So this is also correct. If you just flip the molecule down from like this to this, then the up groups will become down and down groups will become up. Are you getting my point? So A and D represent the same molecule. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After this, it is clear to everyone. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Now you see you have an alcohol here. So you see the whole molecule is of no interest to me. I am only interested in the alcoholic part. Now if you are treating it with Na, Na will give an electron and electron will react with the acidic hydrogen. So you will be getting RO minus plus H2. So you will be getting this whole molecule after treatment with sodium. Okay, so I am writing it as RO minus. Okay, because this R is not going to take part in the further reactions. Okay, from here. So you see, it is now this is attacking this chiral carbon. Okay, which is having OTS, CH3, H and D. Now you see if this is the nucleophile and it is attacking here, what will happen? The configuration will change. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the configuration here? The configuration here is R. You see, this is first group, second group, third group. Okay, and hydrogen is vertical, so 1 to 2 to 3, it is R, and hydrogen is vertical, so R remains R. Okay, so this is R. Now, you see, if RO minus is attacking here, the configuration will change. So how will I write the inverted configuration? I will just replace exchange D and this part. So OR and D. So this will be representing the S configuration. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? You see 1 to 2 to 3, it is anti-clockwise and hydrogen is still on the vertical. So it will be S will remain S. Are you remembering this thing? Yes or no?
Sir, in the question they gave D on the left side. No, why did you make it on
First, you understood this or not? Tell me this. Are you getting this? Means you don't have any problem in formation with this? Yes or no? Yes or no, something. I will explain how it is giving the product also. But are you getting this part correct or not?
No, sir.
No. Why? You see here the configuration is R. It is undergoing SN2 attack. So R will become S. So how will you write S? You just exchange these two groups. One odd number of exchanges means it will give enantiomer.
Okay, sir, understood.
Okay. Now you see, we have to check for Y. Now you see here we have to just check. You see the product is having an S configuration. So you have to check which one is having S configuration. Now you see this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So it is S. Are you getting the point? And here if you see the configuration is R only. So this cannot be the product. Are you clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so you see here it is a bit difficult to, see the things. So that is why we are writing the configuration to make sure that the configuration which we are getting here should be matching with the configuration which we are getting in the options also. Okay, there is no other way of doing it. Okay, visualization is a bit difficult in this case. So that is why we are writing the configuration. We know that, it is representing the same X molecule because you see all are up or all are down. So the R part is same in both cases, but the configuration is R here and S here. Okay, so alkyl part is same, but the configuration is changing. So only this can be answer, this cannot be the answer. C cannot be the answer. Okay. After this, 22.
Sir, 22, shouldn't it be option B?
Option B. B for Bombay.
Yes, sir.
Hg2s, HgS will be a black precipitate, but it won't give white precipitate on oxidation with dilute HNO3. HgO is also black only. Are you getting a point?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So after 22, 23, 24, 25. 23 and 24. Any doubts? Anodization is basically electrolytic passivization. Okay. This means that, see, we know that aluminium has a natural layer of Al2O3. Okay. because aluminum is highly reactive. It reacts with oxidation, with oxygen. So fresh surface of aluminum will have a small layer of Al2O3, which renders it passive towards most of the reagent. Okay, now we can artificially increase the thickness of this layer by subjecting it to anodization. So in anodization, we will put aluminum at anode. So it will undergo oxidation, so the thickness of Al2O3 layer will increase. Are you getting my point? Yes,
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Okay. 23, this is the only point which you might, be benefited with. After this, 24.
So 24th option A.
More number of resonance structures, more will be the resonance energy. NO3 minus will have 3 equivalent resonance structures. You want me to draw
Okay.
it?
No.
Okay. So 24 is done.
So in
25.
24th option B is incorrect. 24th में
Option D, 24.
B for Bombay.
B is incorrect. You see, in case of 5D elements, due to lanthanide contract, the F block contraction, that effective will increase very much, and so the ionization energy will also increase. Are you getting a point?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so 24 is done. 25, 26, 27. Any doubts in 25, 26, and 27?
27.
Okay, 27. You see, when you're talking about methane, now, you see, if you are assuming that this methane is having these two hydrogens in the plane, then these two hydrogens will be in a perpendicular plane. See, this is the plane of the paper. Then the other two hydrogens will be in a mutually perpendicular plane. Can you understand it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So you see, you need two hydrogens to form a plane of symmetry. Two hydrogens plus carbon will be forming the plane of symmetry. You need 3 points for a plane. So how many such combinations are possible? You have to select two hydrogens from a pack of 4 hydrogens. How many planes are possible? 4C2. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
I have discussed this problem in the class also. If you remember plane of symmetry discussion, I have discussed this. But anyways, Okay, so after this, 26 and 25 are knotted out.
So 25.
Yeah. You see, brown precipitate with NH4OH and NH4Cl. Only, what is the group, what are the elements in, what are the cations in group 3? Do you remember? Group 3 cations. You have Fe3 plus, you have Cr3 plus. Are you remembering it?
No.
What is group 3? 1 minute. You see, NH4OH plus NH4Cl. This is representing weak concentration of OH minus. Okay, it won't be done by the group analysis. It will be representing the weak concentration of OH minus. Are you getting my point? NH4OH is a weak base, and its dissociation is further decreased by addition of NH4Cl. This point you are getting? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you see, the precipitate must be a hydroxide. Whatever metal is there, it will be precipitated as a hydroxide only. Now, it forms a colored complex with K3FeCN6. So, You see in group 3, what are the metals which are there in group 3? One is Fe3 plus, another is Cr3 plus. These are only giving the Al3 plus. These are the 3 metals which are giving the precipitate. Okay. So the only brown precipitate can be with FeOH whole thrice only. So it should be Fe3 plus only. If it is Fe3 plus, it will form FeCN6, which is a brown colored complex. You see, remember this thing, whenever you have a ferrocyanide complex with Fe atoms only, and if it is 3,3, it will be brown. If it is 3,2 or 2,3, it will be blue, Prussian blue or Turnbush blue. If it is 2,2, means FeCN whole 6 whole twice. This is having +2 here and +2 here. It is 2,2. It will be white in color. Just remember this, it will be easier. Are you getting the point? This is a
Yes.
3,3 complex. Okay. You remember Turnbush blue and Prussian blue formulas? Yes, no?
No.
No.
sir.
See, it is very simple. You have Fe2 plus and you have FeCN whole 6. Okay, 3 minus. This is only having, so you see, if you 2,3 is Turnbush blue. Are you getting my point? 2,3 is, so what will be the, and if you have Fe3 plus outside and Fe2 plus inside, it is Prussian blue. Now you can write the formula, exchange of anions, valencies. What will happen? Okay, so this is the, what is the first one? First one will be 3 will come here, 2 will come here, so it will be Fe3 and then FeCN whole 6 whole twice. This is the Turnbush blue complex. What is the Prussian blue complex? It will be, you see, 4 will come here and 3 will come here. So it will be Fe4, FeCN. Now you see, when you are writing this second complex, it will be, you see, 4 will come here, so Fe4, and 3 will come here, so FeCN whole 6 whole 3. This will be the Prussian blue complex. This is Turnbush blue. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you should not, forget these things. It is simple thing, no? Just like writing Al2SO4 whole size. It is same type of concept. Okay. Only thing you have to remember when it is, so Turnbush blue, I remember it as, you see, you are having +2 inside and +3 outside. Sorry, +3 inside and +2 outside. So it is, I remember as 2,3 complex. Prussian blue, 3,2 complex. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after this, so this is done, 25 is done. FeCN6 will have 14 atoms, by 2 it will be 7. Okay? So 25 is, I am assuming it is done.
So white has 14 atoms. Okay, nothing.
Arre.
Nothing, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so after this, 28, is it out? Okay, 28, I have drawn the hydrogens here. You see, all the alpha hydrogens, which are alpha to a pi bond, all alpha, all alpha sp3 hydrogens, which are alpha to a pi bond, will be, getting what you say as deuterated. Why? Because you see, you will get a negative charge, and that negative charge can be delocalized to the pi system. Are you getting my point? You can get a negative charge here, then this can be delocalized like this. If a negative charge is here, this can be delocalized like this. Are you getting my point? Yes, no? If you have a negative charge here, it can be delocalized like this. Yes? No? So this can explain, these three positions. This one is explained when you are, writing this. So you see, if you are delocalizing like this, negative charge must come here. Wherever the negative charge will come, that position, the hydrogen will undergo deuterium substitution. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? This question I have discussed in the class also, if you look into your notes. Getting my point?
Sir.
Okay. So then we can move forward. Okay. 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah. So 29. 29 only in option number 1 and option number 5. Okay. Only in option number 1 and option number 5, you will have mono substitution. You see, bromination in acidic medium will give, only one, bromine on each side of the carbonyl group. So here, this side you don't have any alpha hydrogen, and this side you have only one alpha hydrogen. So here you will get only mono-bromo product. Okay. If I talk about this case, you see, you will get one bromine this side and one bromine this side. Okay. Are you getting my point?
Sir,
Yeah.
fourth one.
Huh?
In fourth one, we are having.
Yeah, this concept also I have discussed in the class. You see, phenols need the a polar medium to activate, become activated. You see, if you remember this thing, I have given this, that in a polar medium, phenols get dissociated to O- and H+. This is highly activating. That is why it is undergoing, bromination at all three positions. But when you're talking about in a non-polar medium, this dissociation won't be that much, so phenol won't be that much activated. So the activation of phenol towards EAS is a solvent-dependent phenomenon. Okay, but you see, NH2 is self-motivated. Its lone pair is basic, so whether it doesn't need the polarity of the medium to, activate the ring. It always activates the ring. So whether you use CS2 or whether you use H2, it won't make any difference to aniline or the NH2 group. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you clear with all the points? So only 1 and 5, you won't have polyhalogenated products. In all other cases, you have a possibility of polyhalogenated products. Okay? Getting my point? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 30th. 30th, the answer should be 9, not 8. They have not considered the 10 to be the correct option, but in case of 10 also, you see, no, not 10th. In case of 6th, yeah, 6th, they have considered the first one to be more stable than the second one, which is incorrect. You see, CF3 plus will be more stable than CH3 plus. Why? Because of fluorine back bonding. So here also the back bonding will be stabilizing the positive charge here. The second is here also, second ion is more stable than the first one. Are you getting my point? So answer should be 9, not 8.
Sir, in the first case, which is more stable?
See, first case, both are aromatic. Okay. When both species are aromatic, then the species with more number of pi electrons, okay, aromatic pi electrons will be more stable. So you see, this is having 2 pi electrons, it is having 6 pi electrons. So the first one is more stable.
And in the
Yeah.
fourth case?
Fourth case, this is the allyl cation and this is an aromatic cation. Allyl cation is not aromatic stabilized. No?
Okay.
It is just resonance stabilized. Is it clear?
Sir,
Anyone have
8th and 9th.
8th and 9th? Okay. 8th one is this one. No. Right? You see, this positive charge is destabilized with the carbonyl group here. But here, the positive charge is stabilized by the oxygen lone pair through back bonding. You can write it like this also. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
9th is a doubt.
Yes, sir.
See, CH3 will exert plus H effect. If from this position, if it is exerting plus H effect, it will create delta minus here, ortho and para position. If delta minus is here, it will stabilize a positive charge. This will create delta minus here, and here. It will not create a meta position. It will not be able to stabilize the carbocation through plus H effect. Are you getting my point? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this 30th is clear to you? Means it covers almost all the carbocation stability question in one single go. So it is, you see, back bonding stability is asked, resonance stability is asked, aromatization is asked. Okay. So everything is covered here. D orbital resonance is also asked in the last one. Okay. So 30th is done. Can we move forward?
Sir, in the 30th one, in the 7th structure,
7th, yes.
won't we consider the minus I effect of oxygen?
You see, minus I effect is significant, but you see, the back bonding stabilization is categorized under resonance, so it is even more stable. Plus, it is 2p2p, so the back bonding stability is very high. Are you getting my point? You remember BF3? The back bonding thing which we have discussed. So here it is a 2p2p, back bonding. 2p pi back bonding. So it is highly, stabilizing interaction. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Yes, no, something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So wherever back bonding is there, it is highly stable. Okay, back bonding stability is more stable than normal, delocalization. So you see CH3, C++O plus, which is getting a back bonding stability from this, is more stable than benzyl carbocation, which is having only aromatic, resonance stability. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? This is there in the notes. I have given you the order of stability of carbocation. If you have any issues, you can look into it. Okay. Can you move forward? Which question after this? 30th?
Sir,
Yes, tell me. If you have a doubt, you can say. Any doubts? Yes, no. What are you people deciding actually? Anyone, please respond. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after this, 31, 32. 31.
34.
31, 32 is not a doubt. Yes, no. I'm asking these two questions.
No, sir.
Okay, this is 32. Okay, it is very simple actually. And 31 is also equally simple. These are like 3 questions. Okay, after this, 33, 34. Yeah, 33, 34. Okay, now you see, in 33, you see, you are having 2 isomeric hydrocarbons, C8 of formula C8H12. You don't know their structures, but you can find the degree of unsaturation. It will come out to be 3. 8 plus 1 minus 12 by 6. 12 by 2. So it will be 9 minus 6. It will be 3. Okay. And you see, you are getting only one product on ozonolysis. Okay. This means they are symmetrical. Then only you will get one product. Otherwise, you will be getting multiple products. So both cases, you are having symmetrical, and both are having, X is having 8 carbons, Y is having 8 carbons. So that is why you are getting 4 carbon products in both cases. Okay. Now you see, when you're talking about X, okay, now in case of X, you are using O3 and H2O. So it will be an oxidative ozonolysis. And oxidative ozonolysis means that because you are not using any reducing agent. So if you are not going to use a reducing agent, then CHO which is formed will be converted into COH. Now it is saying that compound A is also obtained from alkyl bromide, D. The alkyl which C3H5Br upon treatment with magnesium in dry ether, followed by CO2 and acidification. So you see C3H5Br, I can write it in like this, I can write it like this. Degree of unsaturation is 1 in both cases. Now you see, if I'm using this, then this will give like this as carbanion on treatment with Mg, and this on reaction with CO2 will give this. Now this will be A, and this we will be getting only from D. Okay, here you have to use a heat and trial also. Are you getting my point? Now, why we are taking cyclic? Because you see all the products which are given are cyclic products. So that gives us a hint that we should start with a cyclic product rather than an open chain product. Are you getting this point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see, this will be one of the questions. So 33 is actually logically, you can think around these lines. But in 34, okay, 34, there is no way you can do it through logic, because first of all, it should be compound C, not compound B. Okay, they are talking about the aldol product. You see, Y is giving B, and B on aldol condensation will give C as a product. Are you getting my point? So actually, this you cannot do, based on the information which you have given to you. Okay. But you see, based on whatever they have given in answer, I can just explain to you how you are getting this. Okay, technically speaking, in an exam type of situation, you cannot decipher even product C, even if it was given correctly. Why? Because enough information is not given here. Okay. See, if you are having this as the as Y, then on O3 and Zn, you will be getting this type of diketone. Now this will dialdehyde actually, okay, because you are using zinc, so you will be getting aldehyde. Now you see, this will undergo what you call as what is aldol condensation. So in one side I can take the carbonyl oxygen here, and I can take H2 from here, and I can do the condensation. And one side I can take this oxygen, carbonyl oxygen, and I can take these two alpha hydrogens, and I can do the condensation here. Okay, so you can get a ring cyclic product which would be like 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6. You see, you are getting a carbonyl here which is attacking at 4, which is attacking at 3, and you are getting a carbonyl at 1 which is attacking the carbon at 6. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So you'll be getting a 6-membered ring. So if I'm numbering it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you see you are getting a double bond between 1 and 6. So I put a double bond here, and you are getting a double bond between 3 and 4. Alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. Are you remembering this thing? That if you are having RCH2CHO and you are doing aldol condensation, okay, means you are reacting it with another aldehyde, self-aldol, then these hydrogens and this oxygen, okay, they will be eliminated as H2, and you can directly write as the product as RC double bond CH CHO CH2R. Okay, if you want to write the aldehydes back, you can just write hydrogen and oxygen here, and you will get back the original, aldol reactants. Are you getting my point? This, yes or no? Are you understanding this part? I'm not interested in 34 right now. Are you getting this part? How we have done this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If that is the case, then I can move forward. Okay, so 34 is done. Okay, so you see, you are not expected to decipher this without sufficient information, but you can at least, if this sequence is given, you can arrive at this product. This is more important. Okay, in JEE they can ask this sequence. They won't ask this because enough information is not there. Okay, now after this 35 and 36. "35 looks easy. Did you do it? Yes, no.
No, sir.
No. Okay, let us discuss 35 first. Okay, you see, this half cell is basically like your derived from standard hydrogen electrode. Okay, so this is a hydrogen electrode actually. and that is acting as anode here. And this part is the cathode. Now you see, you are adding 4 grams of NaOH to the LHS compartment. Okay, so you see, initially I am having 0.1 molar HCl in anode compartment, and it is 1 liter. So you have basically 100 millimoles of H+. Are you getting my point? And you added 4 grams of NaOH. So 4 grams of NaOH, molar mass of NaOH is what? 40? So 4 by 40 moles of NaOH, which is 0.1 moles or 100 millimoles. Are you getting this? Yes or no? Up to this you are getting or not? Yes, no. Someone say something.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see, once you put OH minus, H plus and OH minus will combine. So you have 100 millimoles of H plus, 100 into 0.1, and 100 millimoles of OH minus, which we are getting from here. So the net pH will become neutral. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, if we are writing the half cell equation, Nast equation for anode part, then you see the reaction is H2 plus 2H plus giving H2 giving 2H plus plus 2 electrons. So I can write E anode is equal to E naught H2 to H plus minus 0.06 by 2 log of H plus square. Can I write this Nast equation?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Getting it? Yes, no. Voices are not clear. Q will be H plus square. H by P. You can write pressure of H2 also, but it is given to be 1 bar. Are you getting a point? Yes or no? Say something. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so E naught of H2 to H plus will be 0. Okay, because you know standard hydrogen electrode is 0 whether it is anode or cathode. And if you simplify this, it will be 0.06 log concentration of H plus, which is 0.06 into pH. Okay. Now you see you can write E cell as E of anode plus E of cathode. Okay, but you are making any change in the anode compartment only. In cathode, there is no change. So E of cathode will remain constant only. So if you are writing delta E cell, it will be equal to delta E anode only, because cathode is constant. We have not changed anything in cathode compartment. So if I am writing delta E cell, it will be equal to delta E anode, and that will be equal to delta E anode will be equal to what? 0.06 into delta pH. Now you see, when you have neutralized H plus with OH minus, pH will become 7. Initially pH is 1 because it is 0.1 molar H plus. So delta, it will be 0.06 delta pH. So it will be 0.06 into 7 minus 1, it will be 0.36 volts. Everyone is clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 36 is done. 36, any other, 35 is done. 36. Okay, I will discuss 36. Okay, because you see, 36 is writing the equation. See, this is the standard Calomel electrode which we are talking about. You know, Hg2Cl2 will take 2 electrons, giving 2 Hg plus 2 Cl minus, and H2 giving 2 H plus plus 2 electrons. Okay. Now you see, if I am adding these two, I can add H2 plus Hg2Cl2, giving 2 Hg plus 2 H plus plus 2 Cl minus. So Q for this can be written as 2H plus H plus square into Cl minus square, the pressure of H2. Now you see here HCl is common, H plus is common to this compartment as well as this compartment. HCl is common to both. Okay, so you see concentration of H plus initially is 0.1 molar and concentration of Cl minus also initially is 0.1 molar only. Okay, so you see Q is depending on concentration of H plus and Cl minus. So if you are diluting the HCl solution 10 times, the EMF of the solution will change because EMF will be what? E cell is E naught cell minus 0.06 by N, which is 2 log of Q. So Q will change if you are diluting the HCl solution. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is why option C is wrong. Okay. Now option A, hydrogen electrode is anode. That is correct because it is written on the left side. Calomel electrode is cathode. That is also correct because it is written on the right side. And option D we can find out. You see, E naught cell will be E naught H2 to H plus E naught of calomel electrode, which is given to be 0.28 volts. So it will be, so E naught cell will be 0.28 volts. Okay, and E cell will be E naught cell minus 0.06 by 2 log of Q. Now what will be the value of log of Q? You see, Q is 0.1 square into 0.1 square by pressure of H2. Now here you see they have changed the pressure of H2 to be 10 power minus 4 bar. So this will give Q value equal to 1. If Q is equal to 1, then log of Q will be 0. So this whole thing will be 0. E cell will be equal to 0.28. Are you getting this point? Yes or no? Yes, no, something.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think there are 36 questions only in this paper. Yes. Tell me. Anything? Any other doubts? Because we have only 8 minutes left. No doubts in this paper now? So can we conclude now? Yes or no? See, the paper 2 I will be most probably discussing on Saturday. Okay. Is it okay? Yes, no.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So with this, I am ending today's paper discussion. I hope that, we discussed some good questions here. Okay, especially the electrochemistry questions are really good. Okay, so, I would like you people to again attempt the electrochemistry questions to get more clarity on this. Okay, do attempt the, metal insoluble salt electrode part. Look into the topic of equivalent cells in your note because I feel like you need more practice on that. Okay, and electrochemistry, apart from that, ionic equilibrium question is, good, but, lot of people fear ionic equilibrium, so that nothing can be done about. Okay, but it was not that tough question. Other questions are fairly easy. Okay, so except 2-3 questions, I think other questions are manageable in this. Okay. So with this, okay, I will be ending today's paper discussion. So I'm stopping the recording now. Okay. Thank you, people.